When the United States Senate voted recently in an overwhelming and bipartisan fashion for pro-gun rights legislation, this vote reflected the galvanization and growing strength of the gun rights movement in the United States. This came as quite a shock to many people who thought that with the presidency of Barack Obama, who had a strong anti-gun record in his previous public life, there would be little chance of pro-gun legislation in Congress, and there would be great chance for anti-gun legislation in Congress. When Tom Coburn of Oklahoma introduced his amendment to the credit card bill, which would reauthorize law-abiding United States citizens to carry loaded firearms in national parks and wildlife refuges, if they comply with the laws of the states in which these entities are located, a lot of people did not think his amendment would have much chance. However, greatly to the surprise of many in the anti-gun movement, the vote passed overwhelmingly with support from both Democrats and Republicans. So what has happened? The advent of Obama, instead of bringing about a deluge of anti-gun sentiment in the United States, has had the exact opposite effect. It has galvanized the law-abiding American gun owners in the United States against the policies or the perceived policies of anti-gun politicians. Remember, there are between 90 and 100 million law-abiding gun owners in the United States who own about 200 million rifles, shotguns, and handguns. There probably are more law-abiding gun owners in the United States, maybe twice as many law-abiding gun owners in the United States as there were people who voted for Obama in the election. When anti-gun politicians and media personalities attack the rights of gun ownership, or the right of law-abiding citizens to keep and bear arms, they in effect are attacking the American public. They are attacking a large segment of the American public. So what is this American public doing? What is this large segment of the American public doing? Reacting against these attempts to limit their rights. As I said, they are galvanizing as never before. They are becoming more and more active. In the United States now, people are buying between 1 and 1.5 million guns a month. Think of that. People are buying between 1 and 1.5 million guns a month in the United States. This is in a country where about 100 million people already own 200 million guns. So what has happened? The gun rights movement has been activated. It has been charged into activity by the attempts to undermine their rights. These attempts take the form of an Inter-American Arms Amendment, which would transfer American sovereignty to a large extent to an international convention, which would enable the president to use this convention as an excuse for undermining the rights of law-abiding American citizens under the convention. The people are galvanizing against attempts to limit their rights to operate freely at gun shows in the United States. The people are galvanizing against attempts to reinstitute a ban on certain types of semi-automatic firearms in the United States. As I said, the people who own guns, and there are tens of millions of people who own guns, actually scores of millions of people who own guns, are becoming more and more aware of these attempts to attack their rights and are taking steps and will be taking steps by contacting their own representatives and their own senators and letting them know in no uncertain terms that they will not tolerate votes against their rights, and they do want their senators and representatives to vote for legislation that will further their rights at law. Now, in about 18 months, there's going to be a midterm election. Gun owners throughout the United States are getting ready for this midterm election. Gun owners in the United States are watching carefully the activities of their representatives and their senators, because they intend to take these activities of their senators and their representatives into strict account when they cast their ballots for or against them in these midterm elections. The coming of Obama has galvanized the gun rights movement into the strongest political force that it has been in recent years. It has activated the people. It has had the direct opposite effect of what the gun grabbers thought it would have. The gun lobby, which really is the American people, or at least a tremendously large segment of the American people, is activated today as it never has been before. The polls are indicating this. The polls are indicating that for the first time, more Americans support the right of law-abiding citizens to own firearms than they do support the implementation of further restrictions on the right to keep and bear arms. Politicians are taking notice of this, and that is what has been reflected in the Senate in the vote for the Coburn Amendment. The gun lobby, the people of the United States are aware of this, and the politicians in the United States are aware of this. What was thought by a lot of gun owners to be the beginning of an age of peril for them instead has become, because of their numbers and because of their interest and because of their activation, an age of peril for the gun grabbers in the United States. The gun lobby, the people of the United States, the people of the United States who own firearms are activated, and they will continue to be activated, and in the foreseeable future will be a tremendous political force.